Okay, so essentially I've created 3 statements that are how might, given that was what.
Yeah.
Do. Okay. All right.
And do they include strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats?
Well, I didn't actually write them down, but I pulled from that. But should I actually log that in? Okay.
Oh no, you don't have to put that. That's what it is. Although it can be helpful just to put the symbol in there of OT as W. But no. So you have your 3 sentences. What's your? Give me your best one.
How might I launch this online program given that I've got a whole group of people behind me wanting me to do so?
What's the issue?
Time management.
Okay, so where is that issue showing up in that strategy?
Just, I mean, my lack of, I think, really working with my time very well.
Do you have that in your weaknesses yet? Is that written down in your weakness? So in your
highlighted.
Well, it's got to be built into the strategy. So we have a weakness in time management. Do you also have a weakness in project management?
Yes, but I don't have that written down.
Okay. Anywhere? Did it come up anywhere in the last day? No.
What? My weakness in project management?
Mm-hmm. In time management?
Oh, it comes up all the time.
Great. So that's got to be down there. So that's why we do the weaknesses is we want to make sure we have to account for the weaknesses that could undermine the strategy.
Okay.
We have to. And then we have to bake those into the strategy. Like you're baking a cake.
Okay.
I baked, what did I bake? I baked a cake and I forgot eggs. This happened like a month ago. How do you think that came out?
I made cookies and I forgot baking powder. I get it.
Okay. So, right, like critical ingredient for a strategy. If we want to end up with a cake, we might want eggs, unless we're doing an eggless cake. For making cookies, we might want baking powder if we want the cookies to rise.
They were these little chewy nuggets.
So the strength is the community that you have.
Yes.
You've built a community, and the desired outcome is revenue, or is what?
I don't know that revenue is like the main. I think it's just sharing good. What was our statement from people who shared good information?
Yep. Okay.
And
that's also a strength, is that you do know how to share good information. That's already a strength. Okay. What I'm looking for is a strength to overcome time management and project management. So, ability to learn. You can leverage your own ability to learn and add a new skill. Or, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think I can figure out time management, but I just need to prioritize it.
Okay. So then there's also sometimes an opportunity, like COVID has created a lot of opportunities. For many people, the opportunity with COVID is time. Yeah. So you can marry that. You have more time to, I've got to turn this into a strength. So then the strategy here would be, how might I turn time management and project management into a strength, given that I have time. I have more time. Now we know what we're focusing on. We know what we're focusing our time on. Okay, we're focusing our time to becoming an ace in time management and project management. So then, now that if we have that as a strategy, then we can do is say like, okay, what needs to happen next for me to start to turn that into a strength? So I'll open the chat here. what are some ideas there? How might she then use time to do this? I can't see the chat.
Okay. Do you have the technical skills to do what you're looking at doing?
Not completely, no.
Okay, so that seems like a first step of maybe taking a course or in some way pursuing the knowledge that you need to create. Is it a website or some sort of tool online? Is that what we're talking about?
I probably wouldn't be the one to build the website. I mean, I don't think I'm going to learn to build websites at this point, but I would.
Is that one of the projects is that you need is the website?
There would have to be, yeah.
Okay. So if you're not going to build it yourself, then you have to have the financial resources to pay someone else to do it. Right?
Yeah, the resources are there. It's really just time. Like my time is already pretty filled. So it's just finding more time to, yeah, make some of these things happen.
Yeah, right. And that might require some of the, oops, sorry, not sure what's going on there. That might require some of the non-essential, like really identifying the non-essential from the essential.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And some of the people I'm working with, I think to help them identify that too. I mean, that's one thing I was thinking about. Yeah. This one partner in particular who's got less time than I do. And I'm like, how are we going to make this happen? You know? Yeah.
Okay. So there's good books, resources, courses, et cetera, really specific to time management. Once we get here, we can kind of get into what you actually need to do in the next, and the way I look at it is seasonal. So like the next 3 to 4 months, like what are the outcomes of you making this into a strategy? What are some of the things? I know the website thing came in. I think the website is a different strategy than what we're talking about in this, which is what's going to happen as a result of time management and project management? What are the outcomes?
More effective use of time, more strategy.
What's the effect? What is the end result of you using your time more effectively?
Oh, that I will be able to develop this course.
Okay. And what's the result of developing the course?
It's launched by the spring.
Okay. And what is a successful launch? What's the outcome of a successful launch?
Well, my like what has to happen or what I want to have happen. I said to have 54 people enrolled is my bottom line. That will make me happy. But
enroll 54 people in X, whatever your name of the course is, by what's the date?
Spring. So let's say April 2021.
April. Okay. April 1st or 31st, or how many days in April? 30. By the end or the beginning?
Beginning.
Okay. By April 1st, 2021. Okay. So now we have an idea of why the project management and the time management, because now we know the outcome. Now we can define winning or losing. Like if this happens or this doesn't happen, then okay. So we know what the project is going to have to organize because there's some things that are going to have to change for this to happen. What are some of the things that are going to need to happen for 54 people to be enrolled? Are they doing it for free or are they paying?
They'll pay.
And how much are they paying?
That hasn't been determined yet.
Okay. Does that affect the 54?
I would assume so, yes.
Okay.
I mean, probably.
Okay. Do you want to just define it now? Sometimes it helps to define it just so you know if it's right or wrong.
Okay, 2,600.
Okay, so 54 people at 2,600.
2,700.
2,700. Okay, so at 2,700. Okay. Now we have more clear parameters of the project. So we still have the weakness of time management and project management, but now we know why those are important because we have a project to manage. We need 54 people enrolled at 2,700 by April 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So then we might, what are the biggest things that are going to need to happen to make that happen? That you're aware, like if you don't do that, it's just not going to happen. 54 people aren't going to be enrolled.
Well, I guess advertising it, just getting it put out to these communities that it's going to be available.
Okay.
But we have the communities, we just have to put it out there.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, I guess the learning of a project management tool would need to happen.
Yeah, but I want to also like, what's the project that we're managing? The project we're managing is 54 people getting in, the advertising of it, and what else? Are you creating curriculum?
Creating curriculum, yes. But I feel like more just the structure definitely needs to happen, and we'll probably create a lot of the curriculum as we go. But
that's a project. Because project management doesn't need to be done unless there's a project to manage. So it's what are you going to use the project management tool for?
Okay. Creating the curriculum.
And this is what it's for. So that's why that all needs to be down there. So you're really clear when you open your project management tool. You have an advertising project, you have a curriculum project.
Okay.
And then it might make sense to take the course so you know how, what you're directly applying it to. The course might just be like going to Asana. People really like Asana. And I don't know if it's asana.com, but it's something like that. And just watching their how to start projects and then start to organize, if you're doing it with a partner, for you two to get in there and organize all the things that need to happen and put due dates on them and start to get them done. I mean, that's sort of.
And find the time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So once you kind of scope that out, to then what needs to not happen.
Okay.
Right. What's non-essential, because this is more essential.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And maybe going through that, like really defining will help my partner especially make some decisions around, like, because at that point, maybe she will say like, okay, my other things are more essential than this at this point, and I can't, because I feel like she especially has to like give some things up.
Okay, great. And so you might be really clear on, as you're scoping the project, of like how much time is in there and whether or not she can, yeah. And so it's, I would kind of look at it like from this, is it like, it looks like we're each going to need to put in 15 hours a week to partner on this to get it done and get to the point, like, is like, do you agree with that? Like, given the scope of what we just looked at, and if she says yes, and it's like, can you make that happen? Starting when? And this is where specifics really matter. Because you're more or less at that point, you're managing yourself, but you're also managing each other on deliverables of like what needs to be done by when for a good partnership, right? Those deliverables are specified.
Okay.
And then there's some if then statements like, if at some point you're not doing that, then what are we going to do? Given that it's a red flag right now. And so I would put that under weakness too, given that your partner might not follow through, right? That's a critical issue. Is everyone hearing that? Suzanne's nodding her head. Terry's like giving us some big nods. Partner might not follow through. That's got to be baked into the strategy. If this is going to happen, if 54 people are going to be enrolled by April 1st, and that this is a critical issue because you're thinking about it and you know what she's like, or her schedule's like, the more honest we are to ourselves about the other people that we're working with, the better strategy we're going to make. Certain people I have found, I have overestimated their capability thinking they would rise to the challenge. Because why? Because I rise to challenges. Does me rising to challenges really have any effect on someone else's ability to rise to a challenge? if yes, to a pretty low percentage, right? Like I might be able to inspire, but chances are other factors will have a greater influence.
Cate, do you feel in your experience at working on projects like this, like would it be wise to bring in another person and have more of us that had time, or do you think that complicates? Do you think in the beginning of something like this, it's better to just have two of us really working on it and figuring it out?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, I would not like
Bring in
people require management.
Okay.
And if you don't know what it is you're managing, you're not going to be able to transfer tasks.
Okay.
You're not going to really know what you're asking them to do. Now, there's other things. There's other parts of strategy in here. Like there might be, given that, like, I don't really know how much time she has to put towards this. And the reason you might, she has a network. Is that her strength that she's bringing? What is she bringing?
Oh, somebody else is bringing the network. High level skill. She's an amazing teacher.
She doesn't have a network, but she's a teacher. What's her name?
Ivy.
So Ivy's teaching skills.
Mm-hmm.
So then she might not be a good partner. If she's not bringing a network, I would be very hesitant to bring someone in as a partner that didn't have a network. Because if all it is a few hours of them teaching that you really need, and they don't have the business skills, the time management skills, they're already busy and they're not bringing customers to the table. I just hire them at X amount of dollars an hour to teach the thing. Partnering with people because they have networks is usually a good idea. If people are bringing customers, they can make very good partners. Or you can buy customers from people's networks as well. So you don't necessarily need to.
I don't think we've got plenty of people. Like the networks are taken care of.
Okay. So then I would just pay her.
Okay.
So I would ask her like, hey, if I paid you, just make her an offer, X amount of dollars to teach. Here's the curriculum, and you can co-create the curriculum, but I might just start with a time block. Mm-hmm. How many hours do you think you want her to teach?
Well, throughout the whole course,
yep,
quite a bit.
Which it means
4
hours a month, like an hour a week, 4 hours a week.
I mean, it would probably be, if we're co-creating curriculum and teaching simultaneously, it's probably going to be, 5 hours a week, 6 hours a week.
So I would look at how can you bring that down to min spec?
Uh-huh.
Her part down to min spec, and see what the going rate for those skills are in teaching.
Uh-huh. And
I hate to say this, you guys, but teachers it's not an expensive commodity.
It's not an expensive commodity. Right? Yeah.
We don't want to overvalue.
Yeah.
We don't want to overvalue it if like someone else could bring that as it's a commodity in a sense, or it's a service. We'd want to find what is like the competitive pricing on that rather than the emotional pricing on that. And then just actually have an idea if that's what the person's bringing to the table, then that's what they should be remunerated for, especially because they have a weakness in time and project management too. Yeah.
The communities that we have like her. So it's like, we've kind of been the two chosen by these communities.
Okay, great. So then then that's a value in that, and she has reputation and name recognition. So that increases her value to that.
Can I ask a question about her time and financial investment she's already put into this? Because you know yours and we know yours and all that, but
into the 54 people in it. So yeah, when you answer that question, it's into the 54 people at 2,700. What has she already contributed?
An equal amount to me.
An equal,
yeah.
Which is what?
Well, which is basically, we're just still having a lot of conversations about it. We haven't necessarily started creating the curriculum yet.
Okay. So she has a limited amount of time. This might sound really good to her. Now, I'm also wondering how much you need to co-create curriculum versus she has her parts of the curriculum and you have your parts of the curriculum, and some things you do together.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
So that's what you're going to need to define That's what
Okay.
you're going to need to define first. So all of this is like really scoping the problem that you're solving. And it's bringing up a whole bunch of other critical issues of like, oh, I actually need, you know, in this, I need to define what is the, what is some of your strength and your weakness here? Because there might be a weakness in like just how partnerships, joint ventures, or hiring people to do things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How that works. And then we would incorporate that. Again, we just incorporate that into the strategy of like, oh, I'm going to use this project to turn this into a strength.
Okay. Yeah. Because it could become a strength. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it could be a huge relief to her that she's like, oh, you're creating the outline for her of like, these are the things that we need you to teach. Get a bid from her. Like, what would you be willing to do that at if I take care of all this other stuff and make it happen so you can just show up and teach.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Has anyone ever wasted a lot of time in a collaboration because like you spent honestly like more time planning than executing? Like, and not planning in a good way, but just like talking and figuring things out in a more casual. Alex was giving me a smile on that one. I'm glad someone resonates with that. Because it can be fun. I mean, it can really be fun. But at the end of the day, when you're like, what this partner's really bringing to the table is authority and teaching, then let's just give them the opportunity to do that rather than put together the structure of a new business. If they're not bringing the network and they're not bringing the know-how into building the course and the website and doing the marketing and all that, if they're not bringing that to the table, chances are the money that would go to them that's not in their strength could go to someone where it is in their strength.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone who's great at, the market, like hiring someone that's really good at marketing launches.
Mm-hmm.
That money might much better go to that person.
Absolutely. Okay.
And then Ivy might be relieved because you're not asking her to get good at marketing launches when all she really wants to do is show up and teach and get paid for show up and teaching.
Okay.
Yeah, good. So we went from something that was pretty amorphous and we ended up at a strategy that's a lot more specific, even though it's still kind of messy on my piece of paper.